And there's a heap on field too. From a Melbourne perspective, Clayton Oliver could be seen, most likely to be seen for the first time since round 10. But we have heard this story for 11 weeks.
You know, he's got a hamstring strain. It's a minor strain.
You know, he's progressing really well. We get a pretty extended break the week after, so he'll definitely play the week after.
Yeah, I did promise he was going to play, didn't I? I'm going to have to go back on that word. He's definitely not playing.
We're hopeful with him, as we are with Clayton, that they'll both be available and ready to go and ready to perform.
He clearly won't play this week. We're hopeful without any other setback and him continuing to feel better, that he'll play the following week.
We're really hopeful that he gets through this today and he'll be available and he'll put the Melbourne jumper on Saturday night. Yeah, look, Clayton's progressing really well. We're really hopeful that he'll be back next week. He won't play this week.
Well, it just shows, to be honest, how they've mismanaged Clayton, haven't they?
Well, it's been a shambles publicly.
Been a shambles, yeah.
He's become the Clayton's player. Yeah. The player you have when you don't have a player.
That's the Neil Brad Otton's 2 weeks away.
What do you reckon of all that? Lottie, before you answer, I just want to roll a bit of vision. And look, again, it's a bit like we said about the commission, when you look at things. But Clayton's blew in here with the bloke who's in charge of his fitness, who clearly was right. Clayton thought he could keep training. I think this was about a month ago. And then even yesterday when he was training, he's running along here and he knows all the media's there and he feigns the hamstring injury. OK, bit of fun with his mates and all the rest of it. But do you reckon you need to do that just at the minute, just to bring a bit more attention? I asked that question openly. I like a bit of jape. I like a bit of fun. I like a bit of all the rest of it. But there's a time and place for everything, and I don't know if
I've got no issues with it, Ed.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got no. Have you got an issue with it?
Oh, as I said, I think there's a time and place, and I just think at the minute, Melbourne just need everything going, and particularly on him, doesn't need to be attracting any further media attention.
I do have an issue with how they've handled it publicly, and I know that there's been reasons and excuses for some of those comments they made, but they're not very truthful at the best of times, footy clubs, and I reckon there's been an element of that early days with this too, Ed, with what was being said publicly about what the situation was.
And the challenge for Simon Goodwin now is how he brings someone back who's been out for 10 or 11 weeks. And here is what's changed when Clayton was there. Look at how much midfield time he's had, centre bounce attendance, 83%. Viney's been the big winner, 58 to 78%. Brayshaw wasn't even on the list. He's gone up to 58% in awesome form, and then obviously Sparrow and Jordan have had lifts as well. And then you look at what's gone on in that period, where they've gone number one from 11th to first possession, clearance differential, they've gone from 14th to 4th, and points 7th to 2nd. So I think you can't...
How does that happen when some people think he's the best player in the competition?
I think that you can go to the well with the same guys too many times, and I think the point of difference... sometimes it's not until someone's gone that somebody comes in and you go, wow, because he never gets that opportunity, we don't actually know how good they are. So it's about where Clayton where else he can play to allow for Viney and Brayshaw to stay in there.
I'd still have him back in the side, Damo, but I think there's some other factors going on with that. Lloydie makes a great point, but now we've got Max being the sole ruck in a lot of that play. Yeah. Bowie's resumed his good form at half-back, which releases Brayshaw up the ground.
Well.
Yeah, so and Pickett's good form as well, Lloydie. So I think there's a few others that are going along pretty well, which has helped lift those numbers.
Petty, who's been going so well, that's just tragic. He's out for the season.
It's sad, isn't it? Yeah, footy's sad.
It really is. I think a lot of people sort of brushed over it, and he's a really good player, and I really feel for him.
And unlikely to be seen again this year now.
And we understand that Brodie Grundy's been picked. Is that right? Is that the early mail?
It's a talk that he's going to play. Yeah.
Okay.